let's make curry paste. We are going to make two different kinds of curry paste. We're going to make red curry paste and yellow curry paste. But they both start with the same base. So first we're just going to concentrate on the base. So what we've got is some garlic. We're going to use about a half cup of garlic. We have some shallots, it'll be about a half cup of that. We have some galangal, which is a ginger-like substance, which we'll be using about a quarter cup of that. And this is fresh lemongrass that I just picked from my greenhouse. First time I've been able to use really fresh lemongrass, so that'll be interesting. We'll use at least a half cup of that. And we have some cilantro root. It's often called coriander root. This, I actually dried roots from my cilantro plants last year and ground them up. So we have actual cilantro root. You can find it in the spice section of the store. This will call for some shrimp paste and some kaffir lime zest and juice. And when I can find kaffir limes, I zest and juice them and freeze it so I have some fresh out of the freezer. And 14 red chilies. Now I'm using, these are New Mexico chilies mixed with a couple of guajillos. What I'm looking for here are the smooth chilies. I'm not looking for an ancho, although if that's what you have, that's fine, use it, it'll be great. These chilies, I'm gonna take the stems and seeds out of them, and then I'm gonna rip them into little pieces and soak them in cold water for 20 minutes at least, probably a half hour, before we're ready to move on with this. So I'll get to working on that. All right, so I've got most of our ingredients ready here. I'm going to toast the shrimp paste, and I wanted to share this with you. I have here a good healthy teaspoon of shrimp paste, and I'm going to wrap it in foil, and we're going over a burner, and we're just going to toast this for a little bit. You'll be able to tell it gets extremely fragrant, and this is the kind of the time when your neighbors, start going, "Hey, what's going on over there?"
Well, you look a little suspicious too with your
Yeah.
foil over the flame.
We're getting ready to freebase some shrimp paste.
That's what those rainbows on you are about.
Okay, so now we are ready to put our curry paste base together. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that smells great.
Mm-hmm. So here's my chilies, which have been soaking. So they're somewhat softened here. And go in with those, and we need to start chopping these up first. And I think I'm going to use a little bit of this soaking water to get this to move in the blender. And even then, we'll see how it goes. Looks like it's moving in there. Ultimately, we're trying to end up with a smooth paste here, and we have all these chunky ingredients. All right, now we can start adding our garlic. I chopped up the galangal, Not as fine as I did everything else, but, and here's the lemongrass and the shallot. Ooh, that's pretty fragrant. I'm gonna put in the shrimp paste and 1 teaspoon, no, it's a tablespoon of the cilantro root. Big chance to use that.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering about that recently.
And 1 teaspoon of salt. Now these, you know, these measurements are just approximate. The thing about curry is curry paste is it's gonna come out a little differently every time you do it. There's differences in the ingredients, different times of year, certain things are fresher, have more flavor. And you just need to do this to your taste. And so I'm giving you some measurements for starters.
I was thinking that it might work really good using the immersion blender for that.
Oh, yeah, it probably would. And if you need to add more of the soaking water to get this to move, that's fine. You don't want it to be too loose and juicy, but it can stand a little bit. We definitely don't want it to be too stiff either. We want it to move through here so it can get chopped up. Moving it along. Still pretty thick. This is just normal. It's nothing to be afraid of when you're trying to make something like this. Just keep working with it until you get what you want. There we go. There, that's what we want. Whoops. Got air again. If you do stick a spoon in the blender, be very careful you don't hit the blades.
That's common sense.
Well,
I think that's why the end of one of those spoons is missing.
yeah, and that's why blenders have lids. Don't put your hands in the machine while it's on. But we'd have curry paste everywhere. So this is just about to a consistency that I'm happy with. We've got, it's still just a little bit on the chunky side, so I'm probably going to go just a little bit more. And then I'm going to save this in 2 batches so we can make our 2 different kinds of curry out of our curry base. All right, so now I think I've got this to a pretty good consistency here. And it's ready for the next step, where we're going to add some more flavors and some more characteristics to this to get it into being a real curry paste. All right, so we're ready to add to our curry base. We're going to add some spices, and we're going to begin by toasting them. And I have 2 star anise in here, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of coriander seed and a tablespoon of cumin seed. And we're just going to let these get a little bit toasty. You'll be able to tell because the air will get fragrant with good smells. Guess we got to put cumin seed on the grocery list. So this won't take too long. We just want to bring out some of the qualities of these spices, and then we're going to put them in a mortar and pestle and grind them up. Okay, so you can see this starting to smoke a little bit. It's just getting a little bit toasty, which is just exactly what we want. So we're going to go into our mortar and pestle. Ooh, yeah. That's certainly fragrant. And we're going to add to this a tablespoon of cinnamon. And some chili. Now, keep your audience in mind when you're adding chilies to any dish. I want Kelly to be able to eat this, and I'll probably add some heat to whatever dish I make with this in one way or another, either when I cook it or when I serve it. But you could have Thai chilies would be the logical thing to put in here. I have a half a ricotta, and that's going to give it plenty of heat for starters. And then we are just going to take and use the mortar and pestle for what it was made for.
You can't really see
No.
from here in the dark pit.
Yep. The star anise is probably the most challenging to get busted up, but it does go. Then what we are going to do with this is we're going to cook this with our curry base and some coconut oil and some coconut milk, and that is going to be all of our red curry paste. So here is what I've ground up in the mortar and pestle. It's pretty well ground up. So we'll get cooking. So I have coconut oil heated up in the pan, and I'm going to add to it my curry base.
This might make you start coughing from the scent. So that was about a cup and a half.
Yeah, this is about a cup and a half of the base. to add to this our ground up spices. Sticking in there a little bit. There we go. And I think about 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. And this is another point where your neighbors start to wonder what's going on, because this is a marvelously fragrant. If you ever need to know what umami smells like, it's right here in a bottle.
I always thought umami meant it was a fish or something.
And a half a cup or so coconut milk. And we're going to let this reduce a little bit and thicken, and this will be our red curry paste. I don't think I've forgotten anything. No. So we'll let this cook along for a while, and we'll take a look at it when it's all done. So our curry paste is done now. It's a nice thick goo. You can keep this in a jar in the fridge for several weeks. What we're going to do with this is we're going to freeze it in 2 tablespoon chunks, and because that's usually what a recipe calls for, either 2 or 4 tablespoons. So that's what we'll do. And this is a curry. This is just a traditional red curry. So this is something that you would use with lamb, with any kind of red meat. It's good with chicken. You can make vegetarian dishes with it. It's just a very good all-purpose curry. So now let's get to our yellow curry. I have just 1 more small shallot. I have a little bit more ginger. This is a little more than 1 inch of ginger. These are all chopped up. A little bit more galangal, and 4 green cardamom pods and 2 black cardamom pods. Black cardamom is the one thing that I haven't been able to find locally, so I did order that off the internet. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of mustard seed, and I'm going to roast all this in a pan, kind of over a slightly low heat, and I'm going to roast them for a good 10 minutes. And then I'm going to chop it up in the blender with some cumin and some turmeric and a little bit of coconut milk to make it move through the blender. So I'm going to get this in the pan, and we'll see what we got. So we're toasting along here. You can hear the mustard seeds popping, and I'm going to give us a little bit longer, but it's coming along. All right, so I've taken the seed pods out of the frying pan, let them cool just a little bit so I can do this. We want to open them up and take all the seeds out.
Maybe.
Well, they open. If they're tough, just a little smash with a knife, get them. I thought I had these all ready to go, but apparently not. It can be a little tricky to get them out, but they come out. And I decided not to use the blender. I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Okay. The black ones are even a little more difficult to get into. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, it looks fine. There we go. You can see those nice rows of seeds inside there. Black cardamom. Ooh, that's pretty fragrant. All right, now I'm going to take the rest of the goodies from my pan. Oh, yeah, this is smelling nice. So a lot of these things, the galangal and the shallots, we already had in our paste or curry paste base, but we'll be adding a little more. And this is going to be difficult. But you know, no pain, no gain, right? I don't know if you can
kind of
see what's going on, but it's really definitely chopping up and turning more paste-like. The galangal kind of is resistant to smashing up. Smells good though.
Like a lot of racket. I'm trying to get in there to see. There we go.
Yeah, you can see what it's gone to. It still needs more work, but a little too chunky for our curry paste. So as you can see, this is where you might prefer the blender with adding a little bit of coconut milk to make it go. All right, now we're going to cook our curry paste. All right, so we're ready to cook our curry paste. I have about a good 2 tablespoons of coconut oil melted into my pot. I'm going to add our curry paste base. This again was about 1.5 cups of this. It's been in the fridge, so it's almost a solid. We're going to let this cook in here for a minute. And get it to a little looser consistency. There we go. That's looking good. Now I'm going to add my ground up goodies here. that mixed in a little bit. And then we're going to add a tablespoon of cumin. I'm going to make a short tablespoon of that. 2 tablespoons of turmeric. And just a pinch of red pepper flakes. Ordinarily, yellow curry is just not very hot at all, and in order to keep Miss Kelly happy, we're not going to change that tradition. Okay, and in with a half a cup of coconut milk. Kind of creamy, this one. Now you can start to see the yellow color from the turmeric. And when you cook with this one, it definitely has a yellow cast to the food. You can make this even more yellow if you use yellow chilies instead of the red ones that I used. And to this, I'm going to add
a lid. It's what hard to keep a clean stove in here. There you go. Okay.
And some fish sauce. Sneak that in there. 1 tablespoon I think is going to be good here. Stir some more. I'm going to turn the heat way down and let this cook for a little while. But that is how we make the yellow curry. We'll take a look at it when it's done, but that's all we have to do. All right, so I had this simmering. You can see it's just a very slow simmer for 10 minutes, and I think that's good. We're going to take it off the heat, let it cool, and put it in little 2 tablespoon portions in the freezer. And with these, you can take any protein, any vegetable, 1 protein, 1 vegetable, maybe 2 vegetables, who knows, maybe add a fruit with a cube of this, some lemongrass, some coconut milk, and a little fish sauce and some lime juice, and you got a meal. Just straight up anytime. And of course there's a lot of other things you can do with it, but you can be creative. You can make this, learn what you like and make this how you like it. But it's really easy to make your own curry paste. You can still buy the stuff at the store. That's not cheating really all that much. But this you can customize to your own liking. So thanks for watching 2 Cooks in the Kitchen, and we'll see you next time.